debut in the Good Friday derby defeat by Wigan, in which he scored the first of his 5 Super League tries for this year. He joined Saints from the South Wales Scorpions in 2014 and was part of their unbeaten academy side in 2016. Yeah, he's kicked on, done well, given his opportunity and taken it with both hands, and now he's earned himself a decent deal. Fair play to the kid.
Definitely is taking his opportunity fully.
There you go. St Helens.
I just want to highlight, might have predicted him as the rising star.
Did you?
Before the season started.
There you
Want
go.
to watch.
There you go. Look at that. I certainly
we
turned
know
out
something
that way,
sometimes.
We do. Well, we've got Mason Caton Brown coming up later on. He's another one we picked out, wasn't he? We did occasionally hit the nail on the head. St Helens back Jack Owens has joined Sheffield Eagles on loan for the rest of the season. The utility had played 33 games for the club since signing from Widnes in 2016 and made 28 appearances that season, including appearing against the Sydney Roosters in the 2016 World Club Series. This season he's played just 5 times and scoring 2 tries. So I like to see a lad who's not getting game time go off and play and get some rather than just sitting and taking his wage. So fair play, good luck to Jack Owens.
Do you remember him knocking on pretty much his first 2 touches?
I'm led to believe it was pretty horrific, yeah.
Yeah, you were there.
Was that? No, just for Sheffield.
Oh no, you missed that one, didn't you?
Thank you. Okay, if you're going to give me a stick, there you go.
Give me a stick for the right reason.
Absolutely.
Where were you?
There's plenty of reasons.
Part-timer.
I was asleep. There's plenty of reasons. Right, Wakefield Trinity have signed St Helens prop Adam Walker on a 2.5-year deal. The 26-year-old made 9 appearances for St Helens this term after joining from Hull KR in October 2016. I'm surprised he didn't get more game time or kick on as much at St Helens, but then I also feel they might have been given the opportunity to go so that they can get Ben Barber in.
I'd think it would be a salary space manoeuvre.
Yeah.
Plus, Wakefield will be thinking more positively about things and can be bringing people in. They didn't necessarily need to bolster that forward pack the way it's been going, so it's just more strengthening of what is becoming, like, on the quiet, one of the best front rows in the competition.
Yeah, that's it.
They're certainly on form, for sure.
Yeah, no,
so well
definitely.
done to them.
Yeah, absolutely. Staying with Wakefield, Trinity centre Joe Arundel has signed a new 2-year contract with the Super League side, so good business there. 2-year contracts getting handed out. People are starting to go the old Widnes way. Fair play to Joe Arundel.
Yeah, and the complementing re-signings with new signings, and that's a good approach, I think.
Stability, yeah. Huddersfield have signed Super League Grand Final winning utility back Jordan Turner on a 3.5-year deal after he was released by the Canberra Raiders. The 28-year-old failed to make an appearance for the Australian side after joining on a 2-year deal from Saints at the start of the season. Turner's a title winner with St Helens in 2014 and did have a play in the NRL All-Star game earlier this year. So whilst it's a shame that things haven't panned out for Jordan Turner down under, it is a great piece of business potentially for Huddersfield.
I think it's an exception.
Prior to him going, he was showing, first of all, real value in his utility, but also having a very, very good season for St Helens, being deployed not just in the Heartlands, but getting some work done in his happier hunting or his more traditional hunting ground in the centres. Yeah,
he can play in a number of positions. He's strong enough.
Pretty much anywhere apart from in front row, can't you?
Yeah, really. I mean, I wouldn't really want him out on the wing either, but you've got to like this bit of business for Huddersfield.
Yeah.
I feel I didn't get why he didn't get a shot at playing in the centres at the start of the season when what's his name, old teary eyes.
Oh, Jared Croker.
Yeah, was injured for the first 2 or 3 games, and Whitehead ended up playing in the left centre, and I thought that was so. I think the writing was almost on the wall for me then that he was not really going to be in the thoughts, and he obviously hadn't impressed enough in the pre-season, but great to have him back in Super League because he is a good player.
Yeah, definitely. Warrington Wolves and England asterisk fullback Stefan Ratchford has signed a contract extension with the Super League side. The 28-year-old was contracted to Wire until 2018, but this new deal will run until the end of 2020. So tying down another star name at the Halliwell Jones. Decent piece of work.
Yeah, I don't know why he's getting as much stick. It seems like every time I see something about him on the internet, people are laying into him. But
he's a very good player. I just don't think he's standing.
Warrington have been a hell of a lot better since he's been back in the side this year. I'll tell you that much.
That's definitely true.
Even though they've been shit still.
Yeah,
they've been a hell of a lot
by degrees. They've been a lot less shit. Warrington forward Joe Philbin has signed a new 2-year deal with the Super League side this week. The Warrington-born 22-year-old came through the Wire youth system and made his debut in 2014. Fair play to that young man then.
Yeah, he's done himself well, getting a 2-year deal, I think.
Indeed. Widnes hooker Aaron Jeremiah has signed a 1-year, controversial that at Widnes, a 1-year deal to keep him at the club for the 2018 season. The 34-year-old former New Zealand international joined the Vikings from Hull FC in 2015 and has also played for the New Zealand Warriors and Leigh Centurions.
I don't think there's any controversy in only giving a 1-year deal to a 34-year-old. That reminds me, I'm thinking of a quiz of Super League players that are older than me for coming up soon.
It's got to be older than you, because there's not many left that are older than me.
I think there's 2 that are older than you, so I had to backtrack down to older than me.
There you are, fair play. And speaking of players who are older than me, but only slightly, Bradford captain Leon Price has retired at the age of 35. The former Great Britain and England halfback started his career with the club and returned for the 2017 season, becoming the first player to commit to the reformed outfit after Bradford were liquidated. Price also had spells with St Helens, Catalans and Hull FC. He won 4 Super Leagues, 5 Challenge Cups and 3 World Club Championships in his career. So before we say anything, congratulations on an absolutely outstanding and stellar career for Leon Price, one of only 2 people to win a Man of the Match award in both a Grand Final and a Challenge Cup Final too. He's in pretty exclusive company there, along with Kevin Sinfield and the other one escapes me now.
Long was probably
Longy, yeah. So look, the way he's gone has been fairly drawn out, and the fans haven't been happy, or some quarters of the fans haven't been happy at Bradford, but I don't think it's fair to lay the blame at the feet of a 35-year-old halfback whose legs are very much gone. He's stayed and been committed and been vocal in his own way around the club, but I think even under the best of circumstances this year was going to be a bridge too far for him.
He just wasn't doing it on the pitch.
Yeah, exactly.
So he's made the right decision, and it's helped the club, I suppose, be able to bring
players like Dane Chisholm and what have you.
And actually, have no controversy around that and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And you just got to look back on someone like Price and congratulate him on a great career. He played everywhere in the backs for England and Great Britain in his earlier days, and
always put his hand up.
He was part of some really good teams as well along the way in those Bradford and St Helens teams that he was in.
And he was in a Great Britain side that beat the Australians. So there's not many people that can, in recent memories, lay claim to that either. So good luck in retirement with whatever you choose to do, Leon. Hunslet RLFC have confirmed the appointment of Gary Thornton this week as their new head coach. Thornton recently left Doncaster after almost 2 years in charge and had previously guided the York City Knights to the League Leaders' Shield in 2014. He replaces James Coyle in the hot seat, who departed after just 8 months in charge. So good to see an appointment being made there in the lower leagues.
I think it's someone who knows his way around that division completely as well. So it's probably a decent fit.
Yeah, I would say so. England and New Zealand will have an annual mid-season test in 2018 and beyond. The RLIF has confirmed, with Wayne Bennett dropping the strongest hint yet, he will remain on as coach beyond this year's World Cup. Bennett was in Auckland to promote the World Cup yesterday and revealed plans for his side to play the Kiwis in a test that will replace the Anzac test meeting between New Zealand and Australia. With the international calendar that has come out recently, that will happen, Bennett said. We will be playing New Zealand in a mid-year test, not when the Origin match is on a Sunday, starting next year.
Yeah, I hope we get to alternate and it's not always down there.
Yeah, bring them up here for one and we can get the fans out to cheer them on. There you go.
Doubt that'll be the case, but we'll see.
Possibly not. And finally, a burglar was left with a black eye after being caught breaking into the house of a rugby league player. Bradford star John Magrin returned to his home last November to find John Calvert leaving with £500 and his PlayStation console. But he used his rugby league skills to tackle Calvert to the ground before he was forced to lose his grip on him after Calvert struck the 22-year-old with a screwdriver. Judge Jonathan Rose, who sentenced Calvert to 3 years in prison for the crime, said it was the defendant's misfortune that his victim was a professional rugby league player. The court was told by prosecutor Dave Mackay that Calvert and 2 accomplices broke into Magrin's apartment in Bradford City Centre, taking £500 and a PlayStation. But Magrin returned home, saw Calvert leaving his flat, which resulted in the Bradford player punching Calvert in the face, which resulted in a violent struggle. The prosecutor said Magrin again punched him in the face, but was forced to let go of the burglar after he was struck by a screwdriver, which left Magrin with a cut ear. However, he managed to pull Calvert's coat off him, resulting in his phone falling at the ground. Calvert was arrested 4 days later and had a black eye. Perfect.
I wouldn't mess with
John Magrin, would you?
I wouldn't tell him that his hair looks daft.
No,
for sure.
He's got daft hair, but you wouldn't tell him, would you?
No,
far from it, I would say. But that's I like a bit of poetic justice.
Yeah.
So fair play, right?
Yeah, I do like the line from from the judge there, the prosecutor.
Yeah, it's your own fault.
Yeah.
Good. That should be happening more. I would encourage burglars, if you're going to target someone's house, target our rugby players. I always get reminded, and I'm sure we bring this up every so often when we talk about burglaries and things like that, of the two lads that burgled Duncan Ferguson's house back in the 90s.
You have,
the Everton forward, and he rang the police with a shotgun pointed at one and his foot on the other's throat. So there you go. Congratulations. Well done, John Madrin. Right, that's your news taken care of. Let's take a look now. First of all, at round 15 of Super League. Right, so 2 rounds to bring you all the reviews on this week. We'll start with round 15 and we'll start on last Thursday night. We'll cast our minds back to St Helens 22, Wigan 19, a last gap win for the Saints in front of 13,138 people.
Yeah, and God, I hate trying to remember back this far. Tyler Cass fan. Brilliant game, couldn't take my eyes off it. Neither team deserved to lose. So much desire, so much good defence from both. Luluai and O'Loughlin massive for Wigan, Percival and Roby for Saints. Great start to the weekend. Aidan
Stalker got in touch and said, this Holbrook fella is doing okay. Loved the way we kept plugging away in the face of some ferocious Wigan tackling. We never seemed to panic, and once we created half a chance for Percival, he was always going to take it. Promising signs and a great start to the weekend. Just hope Farge doesn't end up out for a spell.
Wakey White said, great game of rugby this, high intensity throughout and some good tries. Both teams can be proud of their performance despite a few errors. Sets up an interesting contest on Monday for Wigan versus Wakey. Hope we don't need to talk about that, do we? What's coming up? Hopefully that
we'll talk about
takes enough out of Wigan to make up for the extra day's rest.
I'm sure we'll come to it sort of a little bit later on in the show. St David got in touch and said, still coming down. The derby so often produces intense, heart-pounding rugby, and it did again. Errors are plenty, and a scruffy ruck and narrow 10 meant flowing play was thin on the ground, but guts, massive defensive stints, and some great touches by both sets of halves gave us a memorable encounter. Oh, and we fucking won.
Mitchell Dart said, quality game, tremendous finish by Saints, but old mate Stuart Cummins on Percival impeding Tierney, come on man, former ref's fault. Bri Davies said, thought Wigan would win this one right up to the end, but well chuffed they didn't. Good tight game. Big question will be whether this is a big run in the season end for Saints or just a bump that you get from a new coach. And Scoots28 Max said, a fast moving match with some good rugby played. Thought Wigan deserved their win. Before Wigan deserved the win, their goal line defence at times were outstanding, but please, Saints took the points, as that was my Super Brew pick.
Yeah, me too. That was exactly what I felt towards the end of it. Look, you were there. It was, by all accounts, an exceptional game of rugby league.
Other than the errors that both teams made, handling errors, I think, it had quite a bit of everything. It's a game that, I've never been at a derby before where we've lost and come away feeling so fine about things. Do you know what I mean?
Well, I think there's a lot of things that kind of handicap this result in some respects for you because, look, injuries happen, and I'm not being a Wigan apologist, but this is a side that's been decimated with injuries, and there was a lot of high squad numbers on the pitch in both your games this weekend. So the commitment and the Wigan way that was on show from some people is really impressive and should be admired.
It's not necessarily an excuse, particularly as we had, Luluai and Powell back for this one, which should have helped us more than it maybe did. Losing Tompkins in the warm-up, not ideal. No. Losing Forsyth when we lost him, not ideal. Saints lost Farge midway through the second half, was it? Which wasn't necessarily ideal for them either. I thought the best two players on the pitch overall were probably the two number 7s. Luluai was... Oh, we need...
We'll take the dog off the telly.
Hey.
Should be a prick.
I don't know if I'll get that out.
Well, let's just talk. We'll just say then. That's all right. We've got a guest for the night. It's not unusual. We used to have dogs all the time.
We used to have dogs all the time, yeah.
So it's
yeah.
Hang on, I'll try to bring it back in.
No, we're fine. Let's keep going.
You're going to carry on?
Well, I'm just going to be up dead late anyway, so I can't be fucked editing shit like this out.
All right, fair enough. We'll carry on. So since the veil has been lifted, should we explain what's going on? We've got a little Yorkshire Terrier in the room with us who I'm caring for, along with